cloud. Perfect. So if you haven't already checked out the Real Estate Property Warriors group, where there are thousands of investors in there, multifamily investors, real estate investors, rental, wholesale, tax, lawyers, insurance, realtors, everyone's inside this Real Estate Property Warriors group. And one of my goals this week is to really double the numbers of people that are in there, because I've seen what people have been able to accomplish. People that are literally making $1 million in real estate, doing refinancing, buying some properties, repositioning them. I've seen checks well over $100,000 in this group. So it's something that I love watching other people grow and share and join forces and create the systems and teams that they need in order to be successful in real estate. I've watched real estate agents go from doing like 1 to 2 transactions a month to doing like over 10 transactions a month. And so it's awesome to be a part of that group. If you haven't already joined, the link is also in here. So I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to show you guys my screen, and then I'm going to jump into Propstream and show you how I use Propstream to generate some leads here. So let's just get started. Like I said, join in if you guys have some questions. You can see the link. So, all right, desktop, perfect. Hopefully you guys can see me here. If you haven't already checked out smartrealestatesoftware.com, this is a landing page I set up where you can actually go here and you can get a 7-day free trial to Propstream. We use Propstream in our business, and it's generated quite a few leads in the wholesaling business. Yeah, so anyways, so go to smartrealestatesoftware.com. and you can get what's right here. This will just send you to another landing page for Propstream, where you can actually get a 7-day free trial to the software that I'm going to show you today. It's super powerful. Like I said, you can get a free 7-day trial just by going to smartrealestatesoftware.com right here. Check it out. And I'm going to pop that into, if I can, right here into the comment section. What's up, Robbie? How are you, man? Thanks for joining in, guys. Guys, if you have any questions, like I said, just feel free to drop them here or over into the Zoom call if you guys want to jump on there. So, all right, so Propstream, right? Let me show you how we're going to do this today. And this is honestly, this is about the extent of what I do for wholesaling. I come in here, I look for properties that have some opportunities. We add them into our list and we start to contact them. And then from there, it's mostly doing some, looking for buyers, looking for other joint venture partners, looking for sellers, right? So right here, I'm just going to log in. Let's see here. Boom. Make sure I get my password right the first shot. So as you guys probably already know, I've been investing in real estate in multiple markets from Colorado since 2012, Vermont, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, and Cleveland, right? So over the years, I've been investing in quite a few markets. And with that experience, I've been able to kind of start to notice like that each market has different opportunities depending on what you're looking to do. So what I always tell people is like, just in Ohio alone, right? Columbus is more of like a fix and flip market. You can buy properties and then you can renovate these properties and you can sell them. South Florida, same thing. Where we're down here, we're fixing and flipping houses. This market down here, again, you can fix and flip properties and make a pretty good coin on it. Up in Cleveland, Ohio, it's more of a rental market. And there's a lot of real estate interest in this market. There's a lot of buyers internationally that are buying in this market. There's a lot of buyers that are in this market, and they're just, they're finding wholesale deals. And with these wholesale deals, what they're doing is they're selling up. Sometimes they're just doing some carpet and paint, which has the highest return on a flip. And they're just going in there and finding these properties like we're going to do today. Actually, a lot of these people up there are not doing it this way. If you have your own market that you're interested in, I got to tell you, there is definitely some opportunity in a lot of markets, especially right now as landlords are finding that they are struggling with finding tenants that are paying their rents. So what I look for in Cleveland right now is I'm looking mostly for duplexes. And in Propstream, you can actually filter this in a lot of different ways. And I'm going to show you a few different ways that we're going to get this list down to about 1,000 people today. On April 17th, we're going to pull another 9,000 records. But today only, we're just going to do 1,000 for this week. And then after the 17th, we're going to go through and we're going to do 9,000. But today I'm just going to show you how we get this list down. So one of the things that we look for is I prefer a property that isn't owner occupied, but mostly because if the owner is living in there and they're selling it, it's I think there's more burden on the seller. So if the seller is living in the property, he has to not only sell his property, but he has to figure out how to move. So he's not motivated as much as someone that is not owner occupied. The other thing that I look for is I look for multifamilies and duplexes. So just by doing like owner occupied, no, and multifamily duplexes, you see we were able to get this entire list in Cleveland down to around 15,000 properties. So in Cleveland area, from here all the way up to over here, you can see that there's about 15,000 records. So the other thing that I like to do is I actually like to sort this map by like an area. Oops, I clicked on a property there. So, okay. Let me refresh this here. I clicked on a property and while it was dragging. So what I like to do is we already targeted the west side of Cleveland last month. So what we're going to do this month is we're actually just going to shoot for the east side of Cleveland, because this market on this side hasn't had as much we've been hitting the market on that side pretty hard. That's probably the best way to say it. So in order for us to keep this list fresh and clean, we want to do this. So we're just going to search on the east side of Cleveland here. And while it populates, so if you guys haven't checked out some of my books over here at mitchsturfy.com, I just want to show you guys some of these books while we're on this call, because I think if you're getting started investing in real estate, this is probably one of the fastest ways for you to get started and up to speed. I took basically all the years that I've been investing in real estate and put them into some of these different courses. So most people that are getting started in real estate, they usually struggle with their credit. Hey, I want to buy a house, but I don't have the credit. So this book right here, Credit Repair Secrets, actually has this like a workbook and 101 different ways to repair your credit. This book right here, Buy It and Flip It. It's an audio book, so you can literally listen to it. Like most times when I'm in between calls, like right here, I keep my iPhone right here, and I got audiobooks rolling on it. So when I'm not doing these Zoom calls, I'm listening to it. You can listen to this book on how to buy houses and flip it right here on audio, or you can read the book. The other thing that I wrote a guide on was I found that there was a lot of sellers that maybe they didn't have as much equity in the property, so they wanted to attempt to sell it on their own. So I wrote this book on how to sell your home on your own. It's a for sale by owner guide. It tells you all the systems and strategies that I coach real estate agents on, the same strategies that help these people get 10 units, 10 deals a month. So that book right there was, that's actually like, I think there's also a video that goes along with it. Then this one right here, Military House Hacking, that's an ebook on house hacking. If you are getting started with investing in real estate and maybe you don't have a ton of cash on the sidelines, or maybe you don't have the credit, well, you can do a couple options here. One, you can rent a house and then you can house hack it by renting out another room and rent out that room and reduce your monthly living expenses. Or you can buy a house and rent the rooms out in it, or buy a duplex and rent one side out. So this whole book breaks that whole thing down. How to invest in real estate with little or no money down. There's a lot of different strategies in here on the same kind of things here. This is just basically like, look, you want to get started in real estate. There's a couple of different ways to do it. Partner with people, or you can use different lines of credit. You can find hard money lenders. This way, that's just definitely a book that you should check out if you're just getting started investing in real estate too. And of course, pick up my #1 national bestseller, Serve to Win. I love this book. This is the first book I ever wrote. And this book right here Just talks about 8 different strategies and principles that I was able to use in my business and help when I coach other businesses. This book right here is the strategies that I usually go through while I'm coaching these businesses. So, all right. So what happened here on this map is that I drew the area too big. So that's trying to find all the property records in here. And that is one downside of Propstream. It's definitely pretty frustrating when you're trying to find an area. And if you draw it too big, that it takes too long to find. I don't like that about Propstream, but I do like the data that I'm able to get in there. So I'm just going to do another area here. Because it's funny because I actually don't like investing in Shaker Heights. So I don't know why I really put that on that map there. Let's try this again here. See if we can get it on this square mileage here. If this doesn't work, then we're just going to do the whole radius here. All right, perfect. There it is. So 87,000. So 87,000 records in this East Cleveland area. East Cleveland, again, owner occupied. We do not want the owner living in the property. So that drops it down to 40,000 properties on the east side. One thing I like to check is I like to see how many are vacant. Okay, so look, we got a nice 7,511 property records here. This list is something that on April 17th, this week, after we get done hitting our entire list here, we're going to jump onto it and we're going to actually use, we're going to probably pull this entire list right here. So this is non-owner occupied and the occupancy status, the property is vacant. So the other thing that I like to look for is I personally prefer, like I mentioned earlier, was duplexes. So now we're down to around 2,830 properties. Again, we're talking about using the software here. It's smart real estate software. If you're just jumping on and you guys have questions about what we're working on, I'm showing you guys how we do our wholesale business. And actually my partner here just called me here. So I'm gonna send him a quick message. Trent, what's up? So I just told Trent that I was on a Zoom call. If he wants to come on here and talk about some wholesaling with us, links on my Facebook. Guys, and if you guys want to jump into the Zoom call, you're more than welcome to. If you guys want to jump on here, and like I said, if you have questions or anything like that, like I'm totally ready to help you guys out. Let me check over here on the Facebook page. Like I said, if you guys have comments or questions or anything about how to invest in real estate, just feel free to either drop your comments or questions here or into the Zoom call. The link is right here. And again, this is stuff that we cover in Real Estate Property Wares all the time here. So, all right, let me get back to it here. So using the software, smartrealestatesoftware.com, you can get a free 7-day trial of Propstream. Inside Propstream, we're looking for about 1,000 contacts today. Right now we're pulling duplexes. And so we're trying to get this list down to around 1,000 people. So one of the other things that I think is very important is to make sure that it's not currently on the market, because if it's already on the market, then you're going to be competing. So right here, we see about 41 homes are on the market. So we're down to 2,789. All right. And then the other thing we look for, just to check on it real quick, is if this list is really heavy, let's see what we got. There's only 105. So that's a little smaller than what we're looking for. We don't really like to go after auction properties. I just kind of like to click through here just to see how many are bank owned, how many are foreclosures. So there isn't a ton of foreclosures and stuff like that. We'll exclude the foreclosures on here because that's a different list that we're going to be working. We want to go direct to the sellers on this one, so we don't need to contact the foreclosures. So here's the other thing I look for is I also want to check to see how many of these are owned. And there it is, right? So these are individuals. We have 1,117 people that own properties that are owned by an individual and not owned by a corporation. Basically, if it's in a corporation, you're talking to a real estate investor. So on this case here, we, depending on some of the other things that we're going to filter out, we may come back to this to see how big the list is. Because one thing I like to make sure is, most people aren't going to sell their house unless they've owned it for a couple of years. especially if they just bought it within the last 6 months. So right here you have, if we were doing just for 1,000 and these people own this property for 2 years, right here, this would be the list, right? 1,000 property records. On the individual side of things, people that have owned it, we got 915. So you see how we're filtering the list down. So we may need to go with both here, both corporate and individual, as we filter out a few more of these things. So typically people that have owned the property for 7 years is usually right when they really decide that they're either going to keep it forever, or you know what, now is the time to just go ahead and let it go. I've had it for a while here. I've got some good depreciation on it. You know, and that's a good seller signal there. So we're going to start here at 7. We may adjust this to keep this thing around the 1,000, but then we're going to go down here and we're going to change a couple other things here. So estimated equity. This is something that I think is really important to do, because you don't want to be searching for properties that have 0 equity in it, right? So I usually go for about 50%. So that means there's room to negotiate on these properties. These properties have, so this is just the way I'm going to show you here. So these sellers are not living in the property and it's vacant and there's 50% equity. So what that means is if you're buying a house for $100,000 and they have 50% equity, that means they only owe $50,000 on it. So if they're willing to sell this property, they actually don't have to worry about paying off the bank, right? So they could sell this property for $50,000 and walk away without having to worry about it. So this is one of these things that, again, it's something that it's kind of a sliding scale. And with that sliding scale, we move it back and forth to get this to around the size of the market that we're looking for. So I'll go back up to ownership information and I'll adjust this down to 4 years to see if that brings us back up to around 1,000. Okay, so perfect. So 4 years, people that are not living in it, it's vacant, it's owner occupied, both by individual or corporation, and there's 50% equity in the property. So that's a pretty decent list. So from here, I have 1,000 property records with all decent equity. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to add this to my list, and this is going to be, I'm going to create a new one. This is going to be Northeast Cleveland. Dang, I want to see how far it is. So from Tremont to Richmond Heights. Okay. The only reason I do that is because actually what I'm going to do here is I'm just actually going to take a screenshot. So that way I know what area of the map I did this time. And then next month or next week, I'll pull the same list, but just from a different area in town. So I'll add this to the list. I'll create a new one, Northeast Cleveland Shoreline. And then I'm just going to save that to my list. All right, property saved. And then over here under contacts, let's see here. Oh, contacts groups. Where do they put it? Cleveland, Northeast Cleveland. All right, sorry here. So Northeast Cleveland Shoreline. So these are all the properties. And there are like other upgrades that you can do on Propstream to actually filter this out and see a little, you know, how many are vacant, how many have high equity, which is basically the list that we've done. So actually out of all of those properties, 1,005 of them are free and clear. So that's a good sign here. So what I do is I just take this right here and I export this list. And when I export this list, it tells me how many more properties I can export. And right here, this will give me, not now, Mac. This will give me all the properties' addresses, and sometimes it'll give me the names of the people, their mailing address, right? So it gives me some information, but with this information, I can do one or two things, right? I can send postcards, but I don't need any of this information here. So typically what I do is I just go through and I clean this list up. So I'll delete these estimates. I don't need any of this stuff. Really what I just need is I just need the address. Don't care about the unit number. So I clean this thing up a little bit before I send it over to a Skiptracer. All right, so this is the owner 1, owner 2, mailing address. All right, so all this stuff right here, I'll send over. So I'll take this list, I'll save it again. Take this off right here. Yeah, and I don't really need the bedrooms or any of that stuff. My sales record, I don't need any of that for Skiptracing. Last sales, remaining estimate value, doesn't matter. We're just gonna reach out to all these people anyway. So I clean this list up, right? So once this list is cleaned up and I have their name, what I'll do is I'll file and I'll save that. This is gonna go to Propstream, property export. All right, property export Northeast. So Propstream non-Skiptrace. Boom. I'll save that. And then the next thing I do from here is I usually go over to either Fiverr.com, and on Fiverr.com, what I'll do is I'll just type in Skiptracing. And on Fiverr, there are lots of people on here. I'll do real estate Skiptracing services right here. It's 5 cents a lead. I can literally just send this guy a message just by clicking on his name and contacting him. How long would it take you to skip trace a list of 1,000 contacts? I only need mobile numbers. 3 mobile numbers is preferred if 3 mobile numbers per contact is preferred if possible. 3 or more mobile numbers per contact is preferred as possible. No need for email addresses or landlines. So I'll send that over, and then he's online right now, so he should be able to get back to me here in a couple seconds. And then basically what I do is I just attach my list to him, the one I just showed you how we exported it from Propstream. And with that, I'll take that information and I'll go over to our next thing, which is, next thing I want to show you is Lead Sherpa. So Lead Sherpa, that's not it. That's how you spell it. Lead Sherpa. Lead Sherpa is the way that we reach out and we contact some of these people. So I'll show you exactly how we do this, right? So right here, we have a couple different campaigns. And inside here, I'll take that list that I get back from my Skiptracer. And in here, we just upload the contacts by doing a new campaign, adding the contacts in there. And when we add them in there, then they come on to here. And from here, I'm going to show you guys how we do this, right? So we have a list source list that we have 1,000 contacts in, and we have another 782 contacts here. So I'm going to show you how I fire through this real quick. Guys, if you're interested in real estate and real estate investing or any of that stuff, then feel free, right? Feel free to reach out to me, send me a private message. We are building a team that's doing this right now. Let's see what we got. A couple receive responses. Nice ones in Gordon Square. So, all right. So this guy's a buyer. He's looking for properties in Gordon Square, and we replied to him. I always love the way people respond to text messages. It's like, who? Liz. So sometimes it takes them a while to get back. But anyways, like, I don't understand. We're always working on our messaging to try to make it better. But it's one of those things that it takes time. All right. So I did actually just receive a message here. Hi, nice to meet you. Don't worry, everything is possible, or we can move forward. Sounds good. How long for the turnaround? And usually it's 24 to 48 hours. And do you want to send a custom offer? So I'll just send this over here. Downloads. Propstream non-Skiptrace, boom. So that's really all I do. Send it. And nice. So now he's got the records. Propstream will Skiptrace it. He'll get back to me. Then I'll clean that list up again. And I'll just take all the mobile numbers and I'll mesh them all together. So that way all the contacts are in there with the numbers. All right. So let me go back to Lead Sherpa here. So in Lead Sherpa, what we do here is this thing automatically takes all those property records with their phone number and multiple phone numbers, right? So we have a few different messages in here that we already programmed in. Hey, Gary, sorry we missed you the other day. All right, so the other day, just wondering if you'd be interested in selling properties around Cleveland. Liz is a VA that we have that follows up with some stuff. So it's either Liz, Victor, Trent, anyone that's on our team, right? We try to send the messages with a couple different names. We've noticed that people are less angry when there's a female sending them the message. So we typically send from that because when, yeah, anyways, people get bored, they're hurt people like hurt other people. So here's what we do. So from here, when you click on this button right here, it literally will just send a text, it'll send this text message, right? You can see it automatically entering their name. And if it doesn't have their name, it sends a different message, right? Hey, sorry, we missed you the other day. Just wondering if you'd be interested in the idea of selling any properties in the Cleveland area. Any interest, right? So we don't have their actual name because they're LLCs. But this one does have his name. Hector, sorry, we missed you the other day. Just wondering if you'd be interested in selling any properties around Cleveland. Any interest, Liz? LLC, same thing, right? So this does this automatically. So you can see how you can fire through about 100 contacts pretty quick just by clicking on this, just by clicking on this and sending these messages. So after you send about 100, what it does is it kind of throttles you. So that way, you don't get marked as spam. You don't have any violations. It's not robo-texting or any of that stuff. But literally, you can just click on this and you're sending these messages pretty quick. All right, there goes 200 leads. We're able to just contact 200 leads that fast. So that's one way we do it. The other way that we do it is actually have this little software that we run here. And you saw how fast I was able to do that. But what I can do is, so I don't know if it'll actually allow me to do this. I may have to, yeah. So it's sending messages right now. It wouldn't actually bring the box up because I'm screen recording. So, so usually what it does is actually you can click to set an area on where you want the box to be. And then it'll automatically click, as you can see on the right side there, the click count's going up, and it'll automatically just move the mouse around and click for you if you don't want to just keep clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. So that's how we reach out to these contacts. I'm just going to slide this thing over, and I'm actually going to show you here one more time. Same kind of thing. I'm surprised it wasn't able to, yeah, it's because I'm screen recording. So just slide it over here, and then boom, put the mouse right there. And now it's sending all those messages automatically for me. So that's one of the other ways that we do this. All right. So that's how we use Propstream, which again, if you guys are interested in wholesaling real estate, we have a deal that's closing on the 20th. That's a $6,000 check. We have 4 duplexes under contract right now. That's like those 4, if we're able to sell those things here in the next couple of weeks, that could be close to $40,000 in wholesale fees. We have another property. We purchased it for $48,000. We're selling that for around $53,000. That generates almost $3,000 a month in income. So it's a great real estate investment property for someone. So we're just literally building lists here. And then typically what happens, so I showed you that. So typically what happens is from here, usually, and actually I'll go over to the other campaign and I'll do the same thing so I can show you the other follow-up. So see how I drop that list down. So we only have about another 1,000 contacts, and we're going to hit this list right here. So, okay, we have a few more responses. Who is this? It's clearly Liz. Yes, right here. So this person is interested in actually receiving a cash offer. So from here, what we do is we follow up with them. We warm them up a little bit with just a couple little back and forth messages. Hey, thanks for replying to my message. I'd love to chat with you a little more. And then we send this over to our acquisition managers, and our acquisition managers that are on our team will work this lead and get this property under contract. And then from there, then we move over to our disposition team where we start to market these properties in different groups, and then we sell them. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, go over to the Real Estate Property Warriors group. which there is a link on the Facebook page, Real Estate Property Warriors Group. It's a free group. Again, this week I'm going to drive a lot more attention here because the larger this group is, the better, the stronger we are as a group. So I want you guys to join us if you guys are interested in real estate and you're interested in maybe wholesaling or rental property or buying your first property, whatever it may be. This is the group to be in. All right. So there's 1,273 members in there right now. I'm looking to double it this week. So if you're interested in that right here, you can join the Real Estate Property Warriors group. What's up, Josh? Josh is crushing some deals. Josh had a nice $100,000 deal he was working on a couple weeks ago. That's the opportunities with real estate here. So guys, thanks for checking this out. I'm going to show you a few more things here. Basically less than 24 hours. If you want it sooner, we can manage. 24 hours works. Send me an offer. And let's get started. Boom. So he'll do that. Let me show you this thing here. So again, what we're going to do is we just basically follow up with these leads here. But what I'm going to show you is how we're going to mark this other list. Just so again, you guys have all the information. Same thing, different campaign, different set of leads. Same thing we're doing in multiple markets. You probably saw the Denver market that we're doing this in, San Antonio market. Same things. We're just following up with these people. So right here, we're just going to do the same thing we just did. Fast clicker, show fast clicker, and we're going to send 200 messages here. All right, so those are sending those messages. Guys, thanks for checking this out. I will be doing probably a ton of Zoom calls, especially today. So if there's something you want to learn, whether it's websites, how to become a best-selling author, real estate investing, any of those things, some of the software that we're using, how to build your teams, whatever it may be, feel free to just send me a message and I'll do a Zoom call on it. Like I said, today and tomorrow, my days are pretty much open. I'm just waiting for things to drop into place. I got a duplex up in Cleveland that we're under contract. We're supposed to be closing here maybe beginning of next week. We have a wholesale deal we're closing in 7 days. We're building out our wholesale team. If you've ever had interest in it, I'll give you our step-by-step process on how to do it. You can even join our team if you have interest in joining our team. Then let's jump on a call, 15-minute call, and I'm happy to work with you guys there. Trent and I have an 8-week boot camp that we've also done in the past where we show you all our systems and everything like that. Exactly how you can start with either little money in wholesaling, or if you want to invest a little bit of money, you can do the same thing. Like I said, you can get a 7-day free trial to Propstream where you can get the information I just showed you guys. I showed you guys how to do the list. I showed you where you can get your list. I can send it, but I'm trying to, okay, because the reason he's not able to open this is because I saved it in numbers. So what I need to do is I need to export it as a CSV. So I'm just going to export that as a CSV here and just do it like this, at one, export. So send him back the file the right way, my mistake. There it is, CSV. So boom. So now you can open that. Yeah. And so this is $99 a month. If you want 10,000 contacts for $99 a month and you want to send, you can add 10,000 contacts a month into Lead Sherpa. This is about $500 a month. So for about $600 plus your Skiptracing is going to be for 10,000 contacts around $500 to $1,000. So for $2,000, you can get started. You can do this on your own, or if you want to join our team, we got some positions on the team where we can get you in, and especially on the disposition side, finding buyers, or even the acquisition side, we can teach you how to do that, or even just some admin stuff. If you're interested in maybe doing some intern stuff, we have some opportunities there. Happy to help you in any way when it comes to real estate. Real estate investing changed my life. A lot of you guys probably already know this. When I was let's see, I'm 34 now. So when I was 26, 27, I was overseas. And I was in Afghanistan, and I remember picking up a book and I learned how to invest in real estate while overseas. I bought a fourplex, and that's actually truly the reason I'm so passionate about real estate, is because I kind of hit this point in my life where I realized that I'm either going to be overseas for the rest of my life and retire when I'm 38, worn out, missed half my life because I spent all of it over in Afghanistan and Iraq, or I have to figure out another way. That other way was real estate. So I fell madly in love with it. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping you, because I know that whatever situation you're in now, real estate can help create some financial freedom. Even if you own one property, even if you're just wholesaling one deal a month, you know, what's $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 going to do for you? Something that, you know, you just saw me do this in about 45 minutes. Send out this list, hit the contacts, and then from here, it's just following up. So that's basically the next steps is we'll go back through in an hour, we'll hit the list again, and we'll just keep cranking the wheel, right? Cranking the wheel, just like in business. When you automate some of these processes and you have these systems in place and you can crank the wheel, that's when you're able to just, like, you know, when you make the decision, hey, look, I want to make some more sales today. I got some time. Like, that's why I love wholesaling. You can do this in your spare time. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I have another call here at 12. I'm supposed to jump on, and I'm going to come up with some more stuff, and I'm going to show you. I'll probably go Facebook Live in the Real Estate Warriors group next. So if you want to see that one, join the Warriors group, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. I don't know how to end all this stuff. Looks like this is it. So, all right, that's it for me, millionaires. I'll see you guys later. Take care. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys on the flip side. Peace. And we'll stop the recording. Yes.